I'll yield back.
Gentleman yields back. The chair recognizes the gentlelady from Georgia, Ms. McBath.
Thank you so much, Chairman Biggs. Thank you, Ranking Member Jackson Lee, for deferring to me. Thank you, each and every one of our witnesses that is here today. And I want to offer you just my heartfelt, I'm just really, really sorry for everything that you've suffered by. I'm listening to your stories, and you're right, I cannot imagine. But thank you so much for sharing those stories with us. But I'd like to say that empowering women includes also protecting women. Protecting women means providing them the necessary tools to make them safe, to keep them safe. Tools like extreme risk protection orders, which empower law enforcement and loved ones to prevent violence involving a gun when an individual appears to be in crisis or has symptoms of experiencing crisis. Protecting women means closing the boyfriend loopholes and preventing intimate partners from possessing a firearm when they have a history of dangerous behavior. I came to Congress after my son was murdered with a gun with one clear goal in mind: keep the American people safe and decrease the risk of death by firearms, especially for those in abusive situations. An already violent situation might turn fatal in an instant. The chance of dying at the hands of an abuser doubles when a gun is in the house. It doubles. 970 women are killed yearly by men with firearms, and there are 1 million women alive today who have reported being shot at or shot at by an intimate partners. So my heart goes out to every single woman. As I said, I cannot even imagine the horror that you have lived with, the trauma that you continue to live with. My heart goes out to you and the child that also has been impacted by the domestic violence, because our children and our families are impacted as well. And I thank you for coming here today to share your stories. But I do want to say that abusers should not have access to firearms, plain and simple. If someone has a history of abusive and violent behavior, the very least that we can do in this Congress is make it harder for them to obtain those firearms and those weapons that they might use to harm their victims. Ms. Glenn, my question is for you. Thank you so much for speaking with us today and for sharing your story. And in your testimony, you mentioned that the presence of a firearm in a domestic violence situation significantly increases the risk of lethal outcomes. What are some alternative approaches that you believe could better protect women in abusive relationships that do not rely solely on the use of a gun or gun ownership?
Thank you, Representative McBath. There are solutions to having a firearm present in the home or in the situation. And I would suggest that we have other means by which we can protect women other than having a firearm and having it accessible. We can work on the dating and stalking boyfriend the loopholes. We can talk about prevention by having Congress support Delta and the rape intervention strategies that we've employed. There are many other solutions. What I'd like to point out is that the solution is limiting access to the firearm, whether it's in the hands of the victim of domestic violence or whether it's as someone who is abusive belonging to them. So the solution is really limiting the access.
Well, thank you very much. And we've had before our crime subcommittee many individuals that have suffered from atrocious abuses by violence. And so I want to thank the ranking member. I'd like to thank the chair for this hearing today. And I am committed to, as many of my colleagues, trying to make sure that we are passing policy that protects and supports all human life. And I yield back.
Gentlelady yields back. I recognize the chairman for the entire committee, Mr. Jordan, the gentleman from Ohio.
I thank the chairman and thank him